to start us running on YouTube. So we're going to get the beginnings going. And away we go. Hang on for me, Wenty. Okay. There we are. Good. All right. So we are now being recorded in 2 places.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so great. You know how you put faces and names together? Like I did not expect you to look as you do. I have to admit that. Your voice is, I don't know what I expected, but I was like, oh, okay.
Well, cool.
In a very positive way. Don't get me wrong. It's like, all right. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I always, I love surprises. And so, not being able to figure out face and name was wonderful.
It's fun. Yeah. Surprises are great.
And when you call yourself a fairy godmother, you think of somebody who might be older or more motherly. I mean, not that you don't look motherly, but you know what I mean? More maternal, grandmothery. And though you can be a grandmother, you look so youthful.
That's what I'm trying to say. Sweet.
It's a compliment. What I'm trying to get out of my mouth,
I got
it. A very good way.
I really got it, Marla. Thank you.
My pleasure.
All right, it's just about showtime. I'm going to set the feed your way. Have a good show.
Perfect. Thanks. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Talk Radio Network, its staff and management. Welcome to an enlightened hour of interactive talk. This is Guided Spirit Conversations with host Marla Goldberg. In this program, we spotlight guests from all over the globe who have helped others change their lives, and we'll provide you with the tips, tools, and techniques that you need to help make a difference in your own life. Now, here is Marla Goldberg.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be such a fun show because I have a fairy godmother here with me. Wenty Hill is an internationally recognized intuitive transformation consultant, and she's been chosen as one of the top 4 healers and channels by the Sedona Journal of Emergence. Wenty has 30 years plus experience on TV, radio, and has been featured in the Boston Globe and the New York Times. She is also the host of The Secrets of a Fairy Godmother podcast, where she channels messages from the guys and gives channeled advice on abundance and provides information you can use for the magic toolbox. Let's talk about that magic toolbox. Welcome, Wenty. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great, Marla. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. So, as I like to do disclosure, I have had conversations with Wenty, just adore her, and she's absolutely brilliant. And so, but for those who haven't had the opportunity to get to know you a little bit, let's start at the beginning. How did you find out about your abilities? Was it childhood? Did something happen that triggered it?
Well, I always seemed to know things. And it was kind of scary until I had a hand reading about five years ago, and won a hand reading analysis. And he told me I was a Tommy Lee Jones, which means I'm one of 7% in the world that just knows how to get people what they want, knows the whole system of how to get it there, and always gets results. And as soon as I heard that, I felt like I'd been egotistical, and why could I be saying these crazy things? But then I got it. Everything clicked together, all my knowledge and the intuitive piece. I have always felt I just knew what people wanted, or knew how to give people their happiness or their dreams. So I've had it since childhood.
So it was like an ability or a talent or a gift. People call it different things that you were born with technically. I mean, we all have it, but yours was out in front early on.
I'm so glad you said that. We all have it. That means everyone on this call, everyone on this webinar has the intuitive ability and has the power. That's a very important thing.
It's true. And we all do. I'm a late bloomer myself, in the sense that I didn't realize how intuitive / psychic I was people had to keep telling me over and over and over again. And I've been trained in 24 techniques, healing techniques. So we all have it. We just some of us have to have it pulled out of us a little bit.
That's it. Well, I've been called a fairy godmother for about 35 years. So that, but I didn't believe it. It was too hard to take that in. It felt too egotistical, too arrogant. And then when everybody started calling me that, I said, oh, I think I better be listening.
There's a message. So what was the situation that was the catalyst for someone calling you a fairy godmother? What did you do to help them? Do you want to share the story?
Yeah, I would love to. I was in Sedona 20 years, and about 5 years in, I heard doing an intuitive reading for someone that you're supposed to call yourself a fairy godmother now. That's a story, no more. That's the end of it. So I heard that and I said, no, no, no. And I fought it for 3 years. 3 years I wasn't going to put up with that moniker. And then I took it on and I went to a workshop and I was in LA, and there was a gentleman who was one of the most famous branders in the country. You know, he names people and things. And I told him how much I had enjoyed seeing him at a previous workshop. And we had a really good rapport going. And then he turned around and he said to me, so what do you do? And I said, I'm a professional fairy godmother. He almost fell on the floor, roaring happily with laughter, and said, that is the best moniker I've ever heard. How wonderful. And I gave him some fairy dust and he felt it. And it was such a great experience.
How lovely. So let's talk about this fairy dust. So is it energetic fairy dust you sprinkle on people?
Well, it's definitely energetic. I am guided what I call by God to do things. And when I say things, it's not always me saying it. And I'm always kind of surprised what I say sometimes. I was told to bring fairy dust to the show. And so if you would willing, Marla, I would like to sprinkle everyone here with fairy dust.
I would welcome it for everyone and myself.
Oh, good. Here we go.
Bing. I see it. I feel it. It's wonderful. And I love sparkly things, if you can't tell from my behind me.
Oh, I can definitely. And I love those too. It looks great. Your room is really cool with all these sparkles.
Thank you. I just love sparkles. So when you work with a client, how do you work? Like I'm trying to think how to say, but I know it's intuitive, but if someone says they want money, abundance, prosperity, they don't have it. Do you tap in a certain way that's different than somebody who wants to talk about health or their job? And what
No, I
goes
pretty much tune in. I say a prayer, asking God and the guys, I call them the guys, for help. And then I totally remove myself. There's no Wenty. And the guys come through and they speak whatever's going on, or I do a healing. I've got 16 healing modalities, not as many as you. But whatever is needed is done through me as a vehicle. So every single person, I do the same thing. I just get myself out of the way and serve.
Perfect. And someone can have magical results in the real world. Explain what you mean by that.
Well, most people have no idea that what they're seeing is not reality. Most of the things, like on the TV or with people, things that they have a perception about, what they're really doing is seeing the illusion of the past or the illusion of the future. They're not seeing the power of the present.
I love that. That is amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's what's going on. People are seeing through through their filters of limiting beliefs or something like that about the past and future. Well, the future would be predicated on what their belief systems were from the past. They're going to see, they have what's called an already listening, a vision. Their eyeglasses see the future from their past. So it's really about the past. And my job is to clear all the karma around their past as fast as possible. Well, that's part of it. There's a huge amount of things going on. I've taken thousands of courses and all that baloney, but I take the courses and everything to create a database inside of me that the guys use as the information to relay to people.
That's great. It's brilliant. And don't they know best?
Oh,
I'm-
please. It's so easy. People don't get how easy life is.
Yes, it can be. And it depends, as I say, it's not the incident, it's how you react to the incident. And in some of my modalities, it's what causes your blocks or programming. And that's the stuff that gets you stuck.
Boy, are you right on.
No.
It's actually, you said it, how you react to it. It's a resistance. And the resistance wears down the batteries in the body. That's why there's health issues. So when you release the judgment, which is the resistance, then there's only free space for wonderful magic and miracles to come in all the time.
I love that because I always talk about miracles and I love magic and unicorn is one of my things.
Oh, unicorns are great.
Aren't they? I can't wait when I'm seeing one in my third eye right now. It's with me, so I'm really happy. So, you have you said 16 modalities under your belt, correct?
Yes, correct.
And so what do you feel about education and degrees? I mean, you're very educated,
Yes.
especially in your field.
Yes. Well, who else is here,
Spirit.
Yes. But I mean, there aren't a lot of fairy godmother degrees.
No, but you could start something new now. Learn to be a fairy godmother like me.
Why not?
Oh.
Anything is possible and wonderful, and I'd love to do that. So basically, on education, my father was really huge on education, and he really overemphasized the importance of education. I love my father, and so I thought, well, this is what we're going to do. Going to go to college and get a degree. Well, it ended up, I went to 6 colleges and never got a degree. I went to Harvard Night School. I've been to a lot and I've taken thousands of courses. I found that the education I needed, not for everyone, but the education I needed was online or through books or through different mediums. And it was actually more deeper and applicable to my experience with clients than any college information would have. On the other hand, if my clients are into college and they're really into it and they truly feel they need or desire a degree, well, I'm going to support them to have that. So whatever is right for each individual. But I do find nowadays, matter of fact, there's so many famous people that talk about this. Ford talked about this, Edison talked about this, Rockefeller talks. A lot of people talk about the fact that what they say, the school of hard knocks in the old days, it's not like that. But learning through your own experience of education, whatever style, webinars or whatever style you're choosing, will actually give you a faster mode to income than going to school. Matter of fact, school has proven itself to not pay for itself in most cases.
And I can understand why. And you look, there are some amazing educators out there, but there are also many that come in with their own judgments and prejudices. And I feel from my experience in my high school, I remember, there were some teachers that were just amazing and wonderful. And then there were a few, and you just are like, why are you even allowed to teach? Because they were so abusive to the students, and they would put them down and this and that and call them names. And it was mortifying for me as a student to sit there and watch an adult do this, because this person was so clueless. There's one specific in my mind, but was so clueless as to what impact that they're making on the person's self-esteem and abilities and everything else. And I know for me that the subject matter that he was teaching, I used to really like. And then after I went to his class,
Wow.
boom.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. And the beautiful thing is you transformed through that harassment, abuse, nastiness to who you are. The good news is the things we think are bad and horrible are the actual obstacles and challenges that creates the hugeness of who we are and when we transform and go through that wall. And I was hearing that in your voice. I was hearing that you became bigger than that. And that
It-
was really a good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much. But many people, and that's what like what you do, you clear blocks, you clear programs, you clear the things that get people stuck in life, as I do. And I'm just grateful. But what you were saying is I look at it also the similar way, that everything you go through, perceived positive or negative, and it's all perception, right? Because what's negative to me might not be negative to you, might just be like, a spat in the wind, it's just nothing. And for me it's um a stepping stone to growth.
Yeah.
And
Great.
it's all a stepping stone for growth, because that's what it's here for. If we can learn to get through it, get past it, not hang on to those grudges, there's more flow in our life, which makes our lives easier.
Oh boy, you're singing to the choir. Boy, do I love those words. It's everybody needs to listen to what you just said. That was so powerful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's not about my thoughts. I was agreeing with you, but I just was turning it into the way I turned it into. But let's talk about more. Let's talk about some inspiring stories that you've encountered of, helping people through their stuckness.
Okay. Um, in the beginning, I was a professional matchmaker. I was on TV and radio, Boston Globe and New York Times, because I had hundreds of marriages and only 5 client divorces. Nobody was getting divorced. I teach people how to stay married before I got them married. I still do a little bit of that work, but not as much, because I like variety. So most of my clients were men, and I found that it was really inspiring and interesting, but I mean that in a kind way, to find out the differences between men and women. And specifically, there's one client that I really, really appreciated. He had been abused because he had become gay, and everyone was against him. The poor guy had so many people judging him all the time. It was really sad. Well, finally, we worked quite a while and danced. He got a relationship. He was happy. To me, that's oh, by the way, but it's what he wanted. And that's what I have to deliver, is what they want.
Right.
So he finally realized that their judgments had nothing. What they think of me is none of my business. He got to a place of loving himself. He was using self-love mantras all the time. He was visualizing. He just was happy, and he walked down the street. When I first saw him, he looked old, and I want to say the word ugly, and I don't mean that negatively. I mean it like his face was distorted in pain. And but each week, less and less of that was there, and he was just radiant. When we completed, he was just radiant, and everywhere he went, people wanted to meet him because he was attracting what he wanted. And that was exciting.
That is a great, great story. And the thing is I love the fact that showed him how to get, gave him tools so that he could learn how to accept yourself, because you have to accept yourself before you can love yourself, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's ever going to happen. You have to love yourself first.
Exactly. And I just could go on and on about self-love and how important it is. And a lot of people say they have it, but then, and I was an example, through the choices they make, they're showing you that they don't accept themselves, they don't love themselves, and they don't, it's very hard for them to move forward.
Oh,
I'm sure you run into that a
you
lot.
can't attract love, healthy love, if you don't love yourself. You just can't. And that means in every facet of your life. That's work, that's professional, that's lifestyle, that's everything.
So I'm going to sort of presume that you like mirror work, and affirmations are very powerful for your
Yes.
magic toolbox.
Yep, I teach those things in the magic toolbox. Absolutely. I always give homework, I give exercises, I give a little bit of education, but most of the time it's so they can continue the education between the weeks in the week, so that they're actually getting a bigger experience. I want to be giving people something that they can start practicing and living with and growing and having fun and making their life better.
Right. And if something comes up, you give them something that they can pull out of their magic toolbox
That's it.
and reuse or reprocess and change it and twist it. But it works to get you back on track of whatever the situation is, even if it's not, if you break up with somebody, then it doesn't mean it has to be a romantic relationship. Friendships end, professional relationships end, and people feel bad. And it's nice to have the tools to not take it personally, not make it about you, but make it about the situation or the person or people that are doing something to you.
I love that. And my women's team used to call it personalizing, to not personalize yourself. And it's not take it personally is one way, but personalize makes it more personal, I think. And so it's not about you, that the other person's having pain and reacting.
Right.
It's about them and their quote past experience. So their frame of reference, they're just trying to, put that on you, so to speak, and it's not yours.
It's
So you
projection.
wouldn't want to take what's not yours.
Exactly. And you don't deserve it. You don't own it.
That's it.
Let them keep their own and just don't take it in and make it yours. And
Yeah.
we're going to come right back to talk more with Wenty after this break. But remember, the third caller who calls in will get a copy of my book inscribed to them. And here we go. We'll be back soon. Stick around.
All clear.
Thank you. This is so much fun. I'm loving this.
Oh, well,
I
you're
hope
saying
you are.
such powerful words. You're easy to support and easy to speak with because you just lead easily to the next wonderful, exciting subject.
You're so kind. Thank you. But it's my belief system and it's what I live by and what I've gone through. Hence the title of my book, My Effing Long Journey to Loving Myself, because this was, real education.
Yeah.
It's not by books.
Well, you come far. I already knew that, but it's so obvious
No.
you come far. So it's good that you named that book what you did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Some people have issue with it, but you know what? There are moments I can swear like a truck driver because I think it's cathartic. Sorry, my brain. Cathartic. Just sometimes just need to get those words out. And when I was talking to a friend about what I was writing about, and I said this was what I said, my effing long journey, but I said my fucking long journey to loving myself.
Yeah.
And that's what stuck. And it's so funny because when I had my candy manufacturing business, that's how I got the name of that, is just call me the candy lady, because I started making
Oh.
candy and that was the name of my company. So,
Wow. That must have been fun. I would have loved that.
oh, it was good. It was very good. Oh,
Wow. Everybody liked you, I'll bet.
they liked inviting me places because I always got a hostess gift.
Wow. Don't get me going. I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
And it's very early there, isn't it? It's like 9:30,
Yeah. Yep. 9:20.
9:20. Yeah. So
10 seconds.
got it.
All right, stand by. Coming back.
You are listening to Guided Spirit Conversations. To reach Marla Goldberg or her guest today, you're invited to call in to the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for sticking around. I am talking to a professional fairy godmother, Wenty Hill. Wenty is also an internationally recognized intuitive transformation consultant, and Wenty has her own podcast called The Secrets of the Fairy Godmother. In addition to that, Wenty has, a program, the Dance of Abundance program. So check out her website at www.secretsofafairygodmother.com to find out more about Wenty and her program. And there's magical results in the world, and she's going to teach you how to get them. So welcome, Wenty.
Yay. This is about the dance of abundance. We're having it here because you're inspiring me. We're going back and forth, and there's abundance that's happening all around you. I can see it.
Thank you. It's, don't you just love the dance when the vibe
Uh,
is high, and it's all about vibration, isn't it?
Everything is vibratory match.
That's it. And so when you're when you're vibing at the same level, it just makes it a nice. I used to do ballroom dancing, so I like to always do analogies like a cha-cha
Oh,
or, you know, so like this could be a great cha-cha because there's a great back and forth.
oh, I love dancing. I've been dancing a lot of years, ballroom.
Oh,
Yeah.
have you
So
really?
that's super.
Well, that's another offline conversation. But yeah, I do. It's like a lot of times I tell people, slow it down, make it a waltz, not a quick step,
Mm.
take it slower, depending upon, of course, the circumstances. But I know I use that quote quite a bit.
That's really, well,
Yeah.
it's called Dance of Abundance, my book and videos. And it's because it's a dance. Life is a dance. Relationship
Yes.
is a dance. Money is a dance. Everything is a dance. And when you stop taking it seriously and you just go with the flow and you dance like you just talked about, things
Yes.
work.
And when you do it physically, it feels really good too. And it raises your vibration.
Yeah. Dancing is very, very good for releasing emotions.
Yes.
Motion releases excess emotion. So it actually releases some of the things that need to be out of the way. Dancing's great.
It's what, and then singing. I think if anybody is down, the two fastest things you can do to raise your vibe, put on songs you can bellow out to and sing with. Even if they're sad song, you sing with them because you can't feel sad if you're singing.
Boy, I'm a singer too. I love this. You're singing my song. This is great.
And then dancing, those two things will just get you right up.
Yep.
And exercise goes along with dancing. Like if you're a runner or jogger or something like that. I used to box. Boxing used to do it for me too. I love that.
Oh, that's fun. I use a rebounder. The
What's
mini trampoline.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
those
I
are
love that.
great. Those are
It's
so
like
much
being a
fun.
little kid jumping on the bed.
It is. You're so right. It's so true. Oh my God. So let's talk about your program. And, is there the question is about being the biggest results getter. So what would be the biggest results getter out of your program?
I'm a huge advocate of meditation because meditation, if I can tell within 5 minutes if my client is meditating or not, it's that obvious in getting results. When you're a meditator of once or twice a day, every single day, you're living your life at a higher frequency. You're attracting better stuff. You're more open. You're more receptive. Things don't block you like other things. The past seems to dwindle away and opportunities just come.
And you're more grounded. So you're able to deal with things in a more solid fashion. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, yesterday I was doing a new meditation, which was included a grounding exercise with a client. So we designed it on the spot and it was like, wow, this is a fun thing. I'm really I absolutely love every form of meditation that brings the monkey mind into a quiet state. So you can hear that quiet, gentle, loving inner voice.
Yes. Speaking of inner voices, let's talk about the difference between the ego voice and the spiritual voice. How do you teach your clients to tell the difference?
In the beginning, I find that most people who haven't been meditating really are using their monkey mind or their past limiting beliefs, ego, that kind of resistant mind, and they're closing the valve of their life. They're what I call occluding the valve. And so I teach them, is that voice that you're listening to a gentle, loving, nurturing inner voice that's quiet? In the beginning, it's so quiet that most people can't really hear it, but they can hear it. They just kind of ignore it because they think it's the monkey mind. They think that the monkey mind, because it's loud, the ego, the loud voice, it's so loud that everybody thinks that's the truth. That's what's really working. And that's the obvious. It's the exact opposite, that the gentle, quiet, loving inner voice is actually leading you to your soul growth, is leading you to opportunities and new advancements, because you get that intuitive hunch. And that
Yes.
intuitive hunch, and I say, as soon as you hear get the intuitive hunch, act on it immediately. That's the action in life, not the monkey mind, do this, do that, I have to do this, I got to do that. That's not the action that needs taking. The action that needs taking is the intuitive hunch you get from that quiet, gentle inner voice.
So let me ask you, go back to when you said that you were the moniker of professional fairy godmother, and it took 3 years for you to own it.
Yes.
In those 3 years, and I'm getting to another side of this, did you feel like spirit said, you need to take this on? And it sort of was like a light tap, but then as time went on, when you didn't take it on, when you were resistant, the tap got heavier, louder, more persistent?
Absolutely. Everything seems to get bigger when you resist. And I was really, really resisting strongly for 3 years. I said, no, I can't, nobody will listen to that, because I'm a brainiac. I've got all this education. I'm thinking you can't do that flaky stuff. I'm living in Sedona. I don't know where my brain was. And, spiritual capital of the country, everybody's woo-woo. This is the world's leaders of spirituality are coming into town all the time. And I wasn't trusting that quiet, gentle inner voice. So I understand why people why they don't trust that inner voice, because I was a fast tracker in corporate America. I know how to maximize control when I was into that zone, that place. It's not a zone at all, into the ego trip of it. Yes, it gets louder. That's the thing. And then the psychic 2x4, after it's about 4 or 5 times, starts getting really loud. And it's kind of like a smack, like, hello, we're here. You gotta listen, aren't you?
It's so true. Spirit does do that. And the best thing is the spirit has a sense of humor.
Oh,
I love that spirit has a sense of humor.
that it's a riot. All the stuff I hear, something comes out of my mouth and I'm laughing. I said, I can't believe I said that. And on the radio show, the whole thing is hysterically funny for me, because I'm laughing the whole time. These crazy things are happening. And it's really not, yes, I have a good sense of humor, but nothing like the guys. They have a tremendous sense of humor.
And one would think that spirits, they're very calm, they're very centered, they're very serious and serene. And you're like,
You're right. They are not. They are a rowdy bunch, and they are a lot of fun. When I just let go and let them play and let them lead me, all these amazingly hysterical, wonderful, magical coincidences, synchronicities just come to me. And that's how I like to live my life. Every moment when I'm not with clients, I just let go and say, hey, where do I go now? And I go there, and it's like, whoa, look at this.
Once for me, once you know that you are never alone, because you are so surrounded by spiritual guides and guardians and chasers and angels and archangels. I mean, you're surrounded by all these spiritual beings and ancestors. You're never alone.
Just try to be alone. I love it. Most of my clients say to me when they first start working with me, I feel so alone, and I'm going like, wow, you've got a crowd around you.
You have no idea. It's so funny. But what's really interesting, and so last week it was Halloween, right? And I had a panel, a metaphysical panel, paranormal, a medium, psychic medium. And we were talking about how spirits see us. And they don't see us in our physical form. They see our light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what they relate to, is our light. And I love that, because obviously if you're doing things that are somewhat private, the thought that spirit's peeking in, because you're never alone, they're always surrounding you.
It's true.
could be sort of disconcerting, like, but I'm going to the bathroom, but I'm having sex.
I really do not allow my mind to go in that space. I can't. That would that would make me nuts if I started thinking about, those kind of situations, and there's a group hanging around looking,
But here's the thing, all they see is your light. So it doesn't really make a difference what you're doing. they're not seeing the physical action. They're just seeing your light. And that's what they're relating to.
And that is so comforting, because that is saying every single one person listening to this show is so bright. They are recognized by their power, by their magnificence, by their beauty, and they are loved unconditionally all the time.
All the time. And whether they love themselves or not, they're still being loved unconditionally on the other side.
Absolutely. Well, they're being loved unconditionally on this side too. They just haven't chosen to see it yet.
That's
See,
true.
this is,
That's great.
this is what's
Yes.
going on with people is there's love waiting for them, and it's with them and for them all the time. And their job is to peel off the lens, the filter in front of their eyes, so they can see all the love they've got.
And their heart. Because let's face facts. If you're putting up walls around your heart because you're afraid to be hurt, or you've been hurt and you don't want to be hurt again, not only are you not going to feel someone else's love, no one's going to be able to feel your love either.
Yeah, it's true. Or they'll feel there's something wrong. This person's sending love, but there's something wrong. They feel the filter.
Yeah, that is. It's so true. It is so true. And do you have clients? So going back into another road, do you have clients that look upon you like a guru or a leader, or someone that they get attached to your guidance, like they need to know from Wenty?
Well, I've had a few clients for about 30, 35 years. So, and every week I'm so blessed. I mean, I'm blessed, but I want you to know, I don't want to ever be anybody's guru, because I really want to bring everyone to their magnificence so they see their power. My whole thing is teaching people skills and knowledge, or whatever it takes for them to see their magnificence and be their own guru. That's what I believe in.
Exactly.
I don't
That's what
need
I was
me.
gonna
I
say.
say I'm fallible. I make mistakes. I say to people, hey, I'm going to make a mistake. I'm not afraid to look like a fool, because I'm not going to be the guru. It's not happening here. I already did the ego trip. I know how ugly that is, and how it doesn't work. I'm not doing it. But I believe in the power of people, the love of people. I believe in when I can see someone's soul, I know who they are. So I use that as my frame of reference when I'm talking to people. Their magnificence and soul is who they are in my eyes.
Love that. Absolutely love it. Because that in turn, when somebody looks upon another human being in that way, you have unconditional acceptance of who you are as an individual. So when you're walking in, all those preconceived notions of being judged or criticized aren't around, because that's not what you're looking for or looking at.
Well, I find most people fight it. They think I'm too good to be true. Am I some kind of wacko? Why is she saying such nice things to me? Everybody else is judging me. There's something wrong with her. There's a huge amount of thing. If you're watching the news, you're thinking everything's bad and wrong. So why is somebody saying something nice? And so for most people, I find it's very hard for them to let in the love that I'm beaming them with.
It's like, I always repeat this too. This is another thing. Pretty Woman, that scene where Julia Roberts is in bed with Richard Gere, and he gives her this compliment about telling her about all her, and I'm paraphrasing, but she either had special skills, special ability, whatever it is. And she turned to him and she goes, do you notice how it's just not that easy to believe the good stuff? Because you hear so much negative, and that's the stuff people tend to take in and hold in, instead of really seeing their light. Or if someone gives them a compliment, they have a hard time being able to embrace it, because it's like, oh, no, 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 no.
Well, you know, becoming a gracious receiver, I find that women in particular, well, I've had this with men too. I almost always have to teach about how to be a gracious receiver,
Yes.
because half of the gift is giving and the other half is receiving. So if you aren't receiving someone's gift, their acknowledgement or something, then they're going to stop giving that compliment and love,
Right.
because they're going to go, oh, this isn't going to be appreciated. And then they're blocking themselves receiving wonderful things. And then they wonder why abundance or love or something doesn't work for them.
Exactly. Exactly. That, I mean, if there's a tool or technique, that is one important set of words that should be taken in, because being a gracious receiver is probably the biggest holiday gift you're going to get this season. Learning, just taking that in and doing it.
Oh, I
'Cause it's-
love that you said that. I'm using it.
Please do. You're more than welcome to use it. But
I
that's
love
what it
that.
is.
That's great.
Open up this package that has so much love and acceptance in it, and receive openly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that. Boy, is that hot. Love it.
Thank you. The fake it till you make it thing, right?
Isn't that true?
Yeah, and it
Start
works.
somewhere.
It's so true. It's so, so true. And I know that for me, I mean, I used to feel very, like you with your fairy godmother, to call myself an energy healer was so tough for many,
Wow.
many years. But that's where the spirit kept pounding on me until one morning it woke me up with a loud, booming voice telling me to start a practice. It was like a demand. You need to start a practice. It's like,
Oh, I love it.
okay.
I love it. So you did it. See?
I did it.
It worked.
And who knew that here's where I would be? Not
Yeah.
me. So it's
Good
spirit
job.
for us both. Yes. All right. Well, we're going to go for our second break. Stick around, everybody, because there's more great conversation with Wenty. And don't forget to call in because the third caller gets my book. Okay. See you on the other side.
That's a
All
great
right, perfect.
idea.
Good job. All clear.
Thank you. What's a good idea?
Giving you a third caller your book.
Thank you. Live shows don't tend to get a lot of callers, but if we can, my live listeners are getting bigger. And so, I want to give them, an opportunity to, receive something, out of gratitude for them listening.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to have good conversation with other people, I want people to be able to call in and talk to you and ask you questions, and see, what a fairy godmother can do for them in 30 seconds or less.
I love calling people. I love that when people have call-ins on their shows. It's so cool.
It is. Now I just want people to embrace that. But a lot of times when people are listening to the show, they're doing something else and they can't stop and sit on the
They're
phone
driving.
and wait and do driving. But even people working in an office, they might be having a headphone in, typing up something, listening, but they can't stop what they're doing to accommodate a call.
Yeah. Too
But
bad.
I'm grateful for them anyway. I'm grateful for everybody who will take the time out of their life to, be with us.
Oh boy, can I understand. I love this. This is so fun.
Yeah. Thank you. I know it's a different way around. Now we're in my backyard. So.
Well, literally.
It's so true. It's so true. So what do you do for the holidays? Do you go anywhere special or?
Yeah, I have a lot of my family's on the East Coast, so I talk to them a lot and do a lot of Skype and stuff with them. But I have a spiritual family now, a lot of them, and so I go to different people's places on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and so there's lots of partying going with my spiritual family. And I'm adopted
Lovely.
aunt for a few people, so it's great. I love it.
How wonderful is that? That's great.
It is.
I'm a little disappointed about having to be up north this year, just because I finally got my upside down Christmas tree, which I've been wanting for years, and it's in the box, and we just won't be able to decorate it this year. So I'll have it for
Oh.
next year.
Oh, sounds like fun, but you can't take it, huh? How about getting
Too-
one from there?
Sorry to interrupt, guys. We're coming back.
Okay.
346
We'll see.
9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. If you'd rather send an email, the address is guidedspiritconversations@gmail.com. Now, back to this week's program.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for sticking around and listening to Wenty and I. So Wenty, professional fairy godmother, Wenty Hill. She's amazing. And if you want to get in touch with Wenty, look at www.secretsofafairygodmother.com, or you can, I'm having trouble today, I'm sorry, write to Wenty at secretsofafairygodmother@gmail.com. And you can find her on Facebook at facebook.com/wenty.hill. So Welcome, Wenty, and we're going to do our charity shout out. And you want to talk about the Bellingham Food Bank. So join us back in and tell us about the food bank and why it's so near and dear for you.
I love the food bank. I can go on all day about the food bank. I'm a huge advocate of service, community service. I believe it's one of the components that's critical to success because you're just giving. You're not thinking about you. You're just giving. And I'm an advocate. Spend 4 hours a week at the food bank serving the people. And I love doing it. I have trouble sleeping the night before I go because I'm so excited about all the new adventures I'm going to have the next morning. And I have to get up at 5 a.m. I'm not a morning person. So it is just one of the loves of my life. And Bellingham has one of the best food banks I've ever heard of. And I'm blown away that they serve people so hospitably, like a friend, instead of, there's no stigma, there's nothing. It's like a friend is going grocery shopping. And it's a terrific setup.
Oh, how lovely. So what could they use? Financing or canned goods or non-perishables?
Any consumables, all kinds of dry goods like paper towels and stuff.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper, absolutely. For people who are homeless with no homes, there are bags that they can get as often as they want. And so they just come in and get a bag of goods. They really, really do a terrific job, and they've expanded so fast. They're so good that they've expanded like 2 times in the last 2 years. So
That's
it's like
amazing.
double the size as it was 2 years ago. They know how to treat people.
And that's important. And so to find out more about the Bellingham Food Bank, please look up www.bellingham, B-E-L-L-I-G, I'm doing it again, BELLINGHAM and get involved if you're up in the Washington, the Bellingham area, or send funds, food. It's the holiday season. Thanksgiving's around the corner. Let's give.
They'd appreciate anything. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, because the beautiful thing for me is that as I have the opportunity not only to meet amazing people like you and bring you to the forefront so other people can get to know who you are, we get charities from all over, and hopefully something will resonate and they will be able to receive some bounty for it.
I love that you do. I've never seen that before, and I think it's a terrific part of the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's my way of giving back because, again, if they can get support, help, acknowledgement for what they're doing.
And it's part of your service. It's helping you. It's helping everyone. It's helping the world. So it's terrific.
Yeah. So I'm just so grateful for it. So let me ask you a question. What is your tip to living a happy and fulfilling life?
Meditate, meditate, meditate. No, that's not the only answer. Live in joy. Assume every minute is fun. And I say PHUN, fun. And you go out and play. And, at the end of my shows, I always say go out and have some fun out there. I believe fun is a requirement to enlightenment. It's about lightening up. They don't call this enheavyment. It's about enlightenment. And so have fun, and I'm going to say this, usually I don't, but I call it the F word. Have some fun out there. And it's a silly way to play with it. And it's really important to see the fun or the joy, the magic and the miracles in everything. Enjoy. They don't call it enjoy for nothing. Enjoy.
Oh, I love that. Enjoy.
Yeah. And
we should enjoy, because let's face facts. This is our one go around in this body. And we're here to have if you take everything so seriously and you just keep piling the hard, energetic bricks on your back, it's going to weigh you down. There's no reason to. You can enjoy, laugh.
I want to tell you a joke.
Okay.
I had a girlfriend who was a Chippewa elder. Now, she was a medicine woman, and Cherokee, excuse me. And she used to say, I didn't come from Sirius to be serious. And I love that.
But what if you were come from Pleiades?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Pleiades, the
Pleiades,
Pleiades
sorry.
are about play. So it's very perfect that that happens to be their name because they're playful. So this is great.
And so the moral of the story is to have a fun and really fulfilled life is to laugh, enjoy. Like I talk about before going to bed, don't watch the news, put
Yeah.
on a comedy. If you're a reader, read something light, but do something light for yourself so that you can have better dreams. I have this talk on Mondays I have a private page called Spiritual Insights with Marla Goldberg. And we were talking about that and about dreams and what happens to your dreams with doing, if you watch something light or something loving before you go to bed, opposed to something negative and heavy. How do you feel about that?
Strongly. I was on a women's team with 8 leaders in Boston, and they were the top of their field. Every one of them was famous. And we had trouble sleeping at night because we're all brainy. And so what my grandmother suggested, why don't you read love stories at night when you know, the Harlequin ones, the one with no
Yes.
brain?
Yes.
So we all started reading Harlequins, and I'm still doing it. And it works because I go to sleep right away. They're boring, so I go right to sleep. And plus, they're kind of a nice love story, and I'm big into love. So it works great. I've been doing that now for a good 20 years. And I have noticed that when you can turn off your brain with, like you said, humor or
Yes.
with love stories or something nonsensical, it's easy to sleep.
And don't you have the best dreams?
Oh, yeah.
Best dreams. Yes. I mean, I can't remember what they are, but all I know is that I remember that they're light, they're fun, they're, romantic, but they're not serious. They're not heavy duty. And I know that I'm more refreshed and I wake up cheerful because of it.
Well, too, it's easier to get those messages through to you when you've had the openness before. It's like planting the ground, and then you seed it with the whatever type of thing you're using. And then the guys can speak to you while you're sleeping and get all these visions, metaphors, and all these wonderful dreams.
And guidance, because, even if it's a lovely dream, you might learn how to be given a tool to work through a situation that you're living through.
Well, that's truly a guided spirit conversation.
You're so funny, Wenty. So let me ask you, what would you like to share with the audience that I haven't asked you and haven't touched upon? Because we've had so many other wonderful topics to talk about. What would you like to share?
I think gratitude is critical. I talk a lot about the litany of gratitude. Say I'm grateful for everything. Say you're grateful for a good night's sleep, for this meal, grateful for my manager, grateful for all the people I know, the clients I get to serve, grateful to be on the show with you. The litany of gratitude is life-changing. When you're doing it all day long, well, the quote I heard was, what you appreciate appreciates.
Yes.
And it's a great one. I love that quote. So it's about live in gratitude all day long, all day long, all day long.
Yeah, I agree. And the second, I'm going to put a second part on that, kindness.
Yes.
Can't be too kind to anybody. There's no such thing as being too kind.
Oh.
Gratitude and kindness.
I'm stealing that too.
You can
you are
steal
so
whatever
right
you
on,
want.
Marla.
Thank you, Wenty. I appreciate it.
Yes,
I
that's
truly
true.
appreciate your support. But I'm going to support Wenty in saying gratitude is so important. And if you don't have a gratitude practice, please, please, please start one. And if you don't know what to be grateful for because you feel that your life has a black cloud over it, be grateful for that black cloud. Be grateful that you woke up. Grateful for a toothbrush, toothpaste, the food, the clothes. It could be small things. It could be the fact that you're walking down the street and it's fall and the leaves are bright and cheerful and changing.
That's true. And we've got hands, we've got legs, we have eyes, we can see.
Yes.
Anything.
Exactly. And so, Wenty, with that, I have to say thank you. We have to wind up our time. You have been wonderful. I need to get you back because I have just enjoyed you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. And thank you. And I want to thank Voice America and everybody there for all their support and all their professionalism. Teresa Scott Reed, my assistant, who is both my right arm and my left arm. And I'm so grateful for her every single day. And even on the days I'm not working, I want to thank you, the audience, for taking the time out of your day, out of your life to participate in this podcast because it's for you. This is for you to help you have a different perspective, a different tool, technique, something to enhance your life, shift your life. But I do this for you, and my guests do this for you as well. And so I say thank you for taking that time. And until next week, I'm going to leave you with love, blessings, and gratitude. Take care, and I'll see you next week.
Have some fun out there.
Have fun. PHUN.
All clear. Great show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.